pulls you straight down. Earth from a bird's eye view. You should grow feathers and see this too. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. Earth from a bird's eye view. You should grow feathers and see this too. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down.
3 audio check. Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen, we are live for the opening round of XLF1 League Season 2 here on the Motive Racing YouTube channel. We're on F1 2021 on the Codemasters Formula 1 game, as we have been throughout the previous season, and we're back for the Wednesday and Sundays. We've currently got Horatio sat on provisional pole in this qualifying session, looking pretty close at the front, I've got to say. It's looking very tight between himself and Bennett LCFC, as we see Horatio coming through. I think he's done actually for the session, but Horatio there kicking off the start to the season really well, managing to out-qualify his last season's teammate Bennett LCFC, who we saw run away with the championship by quite some way over the course of last season. But he'll have plenty of competition with this season. We've seen the promotion of drivers such as A. Thompson, who we've seen over at Motive on Friday, doing an excellent job. Mr. Harry, or M. Harry, should I say, lining up in third place, will definitely look to try and put the pressure on the top two here in this session. But Horatio on pole ahead of Bennett LCFC, M. Harry in third with Andrew Pittsmith alongside him, Torre and Derby Bay on the third row, with Viper San Chami in ninth place. We've got Pierre Gasly's AI going to be lining up in P10, Paul Cod in 11th with Soph 12th, then Mark Bow and A. Thompson. Didn't manage to set a lap time in the qualifying session there. We start this one down in P14, down to a few woes during that session, so he'll be a bit disappointed with that, but I'm sure he'll be looking to try and bring his way back up through the grid, or through the field, shall I say, throughout the course of this race. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, for the race coming up in a few moments' time. Here we go then, guys. 5 red lights are on. We're about to go racing here at Australia for round 1 of the XLF1 League Season 2 here, and it's lights out and away we go. Great start from Bennett, immediately gets to jump on Horatio up towards turn 1. M. Harry looking down the middle here up towards the first corner. He's going to try and split the difference here between the two of them. Oh, he goes a little bit wide down to grass, but Bennett takes the lead of the race here. M. Harry following him through up into second place. Horatio third, there's Andrew Pittsmith. Derby Bay in fifth with Soph. It's up to 7th place. What a start from Soph in the McLaren, getting ahead of Viper there. A. Thompson in 9th, has made up a few places there, and San's already out of the race. Oh, and it's a big crash here coming through turn 2. Oh my goodness, turn 3 even, as we see A. Thompson and San both out of the race after just a couple of corners. Safety cars already deployed here. What a hectic start to the season. Bennett obviously took the lead. It looks as though M. Harry's dropped down to 4th after taking 2nd place after the first corner there, and the Chami's out of the race as well. Chami's DNF'd in the very early stage of this race. We're down to 11 drivers here in the opening round of XLF1 League Season 2, and Bennett leads ahead of Horatio. Andrew Pittsmith, M. Harry dropped a couple of positions after making a great start there. Derby Bay in 5th. Soph, what a start from her. She's in 6th place already in this race from by the back of the grid. Paul Cod 7th with Torre in 8th. Pierre Gasly's AI in 9th. Mark Bow and Viper in 10th and 11th places. But a hectic start to the race already, ladies and gentlemen. And Bennett LCFC, last season's champion, after getting a good start off the line, managed to jump Horatio off the line and get the lead into turn 1, and ended up actually Horatio ended up losing 2nd place to M. Harry, but they managed to get a position straight back off of him. But Bennett LCFC is your leader here as we're coming around to complete the first lap. Safety car will be meeting them up towards turn 1, but absolute drama already there. A. Thompson, San and Chami all falling foul to a bit of bad luck there, as we see Derby Bay, Paul Cod, Mark Bow, Torre all in the pits, as is Viper. So these drivers opting to come in and get that pit stop done, making the most of this opportunity with the safety car coming out to just get a fresh set of boots on and get their mandatory pit stop out of the way. Wonder if anyone's going to put the hards on and try and go to the end. That would be a very ballsy move from this far out. I can't see that happening, but and a safety car here for the first round of the XLF1 League. Big welcome to everybody watching the stream. If you're watching, guys, right now live on YouTube, be sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe to Motive Racing's YouTube channel, and be sure to join the Excel F1 League at the link in the comments, not in the comments, in the description. If you're watching on Facebook, you can also see there will be a link in the description below. You can click that link, you can join the Excel Discord server. Leagues on F1 throughout the week, I believe. There's not just this one, and this is obviously the main league that they got, the Wednesday and Sunday, the OG League, the tier 1s, but there's also a couple of others, the Schumacher League, the Sender League. Lots and lots to get involved with. If you play F1 and you want to play near enough every day, then there's pretty much something for you here at Excel. And also, if you want to join Motive Racing as well, then be sure to click the other link. Join both of those links, because to be fair, they're both excellent communities. Excel do solely F1 and really do focus on F1. Do a fantastic job on the Codemasters Formula 1 game on the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 platforms. Motive Racing runs an F1 league on a Friday night, as well as hosting many other sim racer leagues throughout the week on ACC, Assetto Corsa Competizione, and obviously Project Cars too as well. So join both of those links, get involved in both communities, as we're currently under safety car here for lap 2 of 29 here in the XF1 League at Australia. Different venue for the opening round of the season compared to last season. Last season, I believe it kicked off at Bahrain, but my first actual commentary here at Excel was at Spain for, I think it was round 5, round 4, round 5 of the season, something like that. Spain's usually like round 4 or 5, isn't it? That's usually when Spain pops up in the calendar. But yeah, that was so obviously I started off at Spain, but the season opener was at Bahrain last season. Melbourne, we've actually been here very recently here at Excel. We were here literally, I think it was like maybe just over a week ago. Could have even been 1 week ago actually. I think it might have been a week ago today, you know, because I think Australia was the penultimate round of last season. And here at Excel, they don't mess about. They kind of just jump straight into the next season. It's like one season ends, nope, no waiting around, let's jump straight into the next one. So these guys, they really are relentless. But obviously it's good to see, and they love the F1 game, and this community is really passionate about this game. So as I say, if you would like to get involved in the action, then be sure to click that Discord link in the description and head over to the Excel Discord server. But yeah, this it's a relentless non-stop machine of action, of racing, of all sorts going on here, as we're currently under the safety car. So these drivers just spending a bit of time cooped up here, not really a whole lot going on, obviously, as they are trying to keep temperature in their tyres. Bennett LCFC, the man who qualified on the front row alongside Horatio, is opted to start on the medium tyres for this one. Obviously we saw a wet qualifying session, which means that all the drivers would have had the freedom of choice when choosing what tyre to start the race on. So Bennett's gone for the long game here. He's put the medium tyres on and opted to try and go long into this first stint, and maybe give himself a few nicer options over the course of the rest of the race. Horatio opted for the soft tyres, although that didn't stop him from losing the lead of the race to Bennett. He got some pretty poor traction off of the line, which lost him position to not only Bennett but also M. Harry as well. But M. Harry then proceeded to lose a couple of positions, dropped down behind Andrew Pittsmith down to 4th. M. Harry also one of the drivers on the medium tyres. Bennett and M. Harry in the same boat there. Horatio and Andrew Pittsmith opted to go for the soft tyres. You got Soph in 5th place in this race on the soft tyres. She hasn't pitted yet. Likewise, the top 4, you got Pierre Gasly's AI running in 6th on the medium tyres. You got Derby Bay in 7th. He's put a fresh set of mediums on, as has Paul Codd, but he's put the softs on, not a fresh set of mediums, put a fresh set of softs on. Torrey in 9th place with Viper in 10th. Viper's on the medium tyres, and so is Mark Bowers. Here we go, we're out of the last corner, and Bennett puts his foot to the floor. We are racing once again here for the XLF1 League here in Australia. Up towards turn 1 we come. Horatio having a little look to the inside, as we can see now. M. Harry making a move to the inside of Andrew Pittsmith. Is he going to be able to get that one done into turn 1? M. Harry does get the move done beautifully there. They're still side by side on the exit of turn 2, but here we go, up towards turn 3 they come. Horatio leads the race. He's got ahead of Bennett there. Bennett's dropping back into the clutches here of M. Harry and Andrew Pittsmith. Now it looks like, oh, Andrew's gone wide there, coming off onto the gravel there. He's done an absolute nightmare there. He's gone ever so wide, as he got tagged a little bit wide there by Harry. He's going to lose out. He's lost out to Soph, and it looks like he could lose out to Pierre Gasly's AI as well. He's got Derby Bay, Paul Codd, Torrey in the background of this. Viper running in 10th on the back of this train here, as he's looking to the inside of Torrey. Can't get it done there, coming into that corner. Mark Bow in the pits, so he's going to have to have undergone some repairs, or maybe a tyre change or something untoward there. But as we now see Derby Bay making the move to the inside of Pierre Gasly's AI, and gets himself up into 6th place. Paul Codd now trying to get onto the back of Pierre if he can, but M. Harry on the back of Bennett right now. Just under a second between these two as Horatio's got the race lead. Obviously on those soft tyres, he needs to make hay while the sun shines, because the sun is not going to shine on those soft tyres for too long here in this race. He needs to make the most of that superior grip that the soft tyre brings while he can, because the degradation on those soft tyres will be much more excessive than what we see on the yellow marks medium tyres. Bennett there running in second place with M. Harry third, so forth. There's Andrew Pittsmith running just ahead of Derby Bay at the moment. Paul Cobb running in seventh place, just under a second back to Pierre Gasly's AI, who's got Viper up the inside. Viper making a move down Pierre Gasly's AI as we now see Torrey and Mark in the back. Oh no! And Paul Codd's lost it. Paul Codd's been hit on the exit of the penultimate corner into the final corner. He's now down to P10 in this race. That's got a disaster there for Paul Codd, as Pierre Gasly's got ahead of Andrew Pittsmith up into sixth place. And Torrey in the pits, as is Andrew Pittsmith and Viper. So clearly there's been damage on those cars. Those three all coming in. Oh, Paul Codd's binned it on the entry to the pits. And the game is resetting to the track. He's not even going to be able to come in and get it repaired. Oh no, what a shame for Paul Codd there, as he continues on his way and he comes out behind the drivers who have been in the pits. So that could not have gone any worse for him. He comes out behind Andrew Pittsmith, despite Andrew Carvin just come in for a pit stop there. Paul Codd loses the position to Torrey there. Torrey up into 8th as Paul Codd's driving around without a front wing. He's got to go the whole lap without a front wing here, but he's just got ahead there of Torrey. And Torrey looks like he's struggling a little bit here. I don't know what happened to Torrey there, but he lost the position to Paul Codd despite Paul Codd having no front wing. And Mark Bowe running just behind them in 10th, with Viper on the back of them in 11th place right now, as we see Mark Bowe there getting ahead of Paul Codd, and Viper squeezing through the gap there. Oh my goodness me, he's now looking to the outside here of Mark Bowe coming in towards turn 5, but still can't get anything done. Viper there stucking in behind him for the time being in P10. Horatio leads the pack though as we're coming around the last corner to complete the 5th lap of the race. He's got just under 2 seconds at the moment over Bennett LCFC, but Bennett getting a big slide there coming out the final corner on the curb, as we see M. Harry in the background keeping these two on their toes at the moment, keeping them within his sights. M. Harry doing a really good job taking the fight to these two, but just Horatio on the soft tyres has the grip at the moment. He'll have the pace advantage over Bennett LCFC. Bennett will just want to keep himself in the hunt, keep himself close to the front, and keep himself in the hunt for this race win. The reigning champion of the XLF1 League here is going to be looking to try and keep that championship and keep himself in the hunt here in this opening round of the season. We were trying to kick off this title defence in the best possible way. He's got M. Harry just over a second behind him there in 3rd place right now, as we see Soph in the pits to get those soft tyres changed. He's put another set of the softs on. Andrew Pittsmith though has put the hards on, so Andrew Pittsmith could go to the end of the race from here if he plays his cards right and is very kind to those tyres. We could be seeing Andrew Pittsmith going the distance here on those white wall hard tyres. So still in the pits, just coming out of the pits now. You've got Paul Codd just coming into the pits there to get his front wing changed. Had to do the entire lap without a front wing. Disaster there for Paul Codd, but Horatio out the front, keeping the gap at around just under 3 seconds to Bennett LCFC, as Bennett's got M. Harry breathing down his neck. M. Harry, new to the XL OG Tier 1 League here, and he is currently really taking the fight to Bennett right now, looking like he's on the pace at the front too, looking like he could be a contender in the early stages of this championship. Early doors here, I don't want to be putting hedging any bets, but he's looking like he could be a contender for this title here. It looks to be a very, very competitive driver here as we're coming over the line to complete the 6th lap of the race. Bennett and Harry separated by just around 0.6 of a second at this point. No real battles going on apart from these two. We see Torrey is within 1.3 of Andrew Pittsmith, but looking like he's not really putting too much pressure on him at the moment. But it's really between Bennett and Harry at the moment for 2nd and 3rd, as Horatio keeping the gap at just around 3 seconds at this point. It's not really going up, it's not really going down, it's kind of just staying the same at this point in the race. So Horatio looking very good here in the opening round of the season. Obviously Horatio was a regular podium finisher last season here at XL, also races at Motive on a Friday night, and is you often see him in the top 3 on a Friday night and regularly on a Wednesday and Sunday as well. But Horatio currently is got a reasonable gap over Bennett LCFC. He's obviously on the soft tyres, as we said before, which means that he will struggle once those soft tyres reach about 7, 8, 9 laps into the race. Then they'll start to go off, and it'll be Bennett coming back at him, as will M. Harry in 3rd place, also on the medium tyres. These two will be coming back at Horatio over the course of the second part of this stint. Torrey is really close on the back of Andrew Pittsmith though. Look at this, he's 0.4 of a second behind coming in towards turn 5. The Alpine absolutely hassling the back here of Andrew as they're coming up towards the chicane section here. The Aston Martin of Andrew Pittsmith is keeping the Alpine at bay at the moment. Andrew Pittsmith last season was in a McLaren, was teammates with Viper. He's changed to Aston for this season, keeping it British though. True patriot here is Andrew Pittsmith, as he's currently keeping the Alpine at the just at bay at the moment of Torrey. Looks as though Bennett's managed to shake off M. Harry a little bit. These two now separated by over 1.4 seconds, so Bennett's just kind of got the pace down in the final part of that lap there, looking to get into a bit of a rhythm and maybe close the gap to the race leader Horatio, who's still doing everything he has to do out the front of this pack. That is is that a lapped car there? Yeah, it looks like it is. So we've got Horatio coming up towards the chicane here. 3.1 in this gap, just around 3 seconds. Still staying at around 3 seconds, really not going up, not really going down. But we're imminently expecting the soft tyres to drop off of pace pretty shortly. We've got Andrew Pittsmith still within 0.2 of a second of Torrey within 0.2 of a second of Andrew Pittsmith, as he's going to have DRS coming down this part of the track. Here we go. Looks he's looking to the inside here, coming up towards turn 3. Is he? Yes, he's going to try and complete that move, but Andrew's still there on the outside, side by side up towards turn 6, and it looks as though Andrew's just about covered him off there and held on to that by the skin of his teeth. These two now really hot on the back of Pierre Gasly's AI as they're in towards turn 5. As what's going to happen here between these two, it looks as though Andrew just about keeping him at bay, but they're going to get held up a little bit by Pierre Gasly's AI here, I would imagine, and they're going to have to try and clear him as cleanly and as efficiently as they possibly can. But right now, Torrey looking to try and get himself up into 6th place here ahead of Andrew. As we can see, Bennett's pulled out a bit of a gap to M. Harry now. That's almost 2 seconds between those two. Bennett starting to close in on the race leader Horatio as we're watching this battle for 6th and 7th places between Andrew and Torrey. Now Torrey's got a good run. Andrew's got ahead of Pierre Gasly up into 5th. Now is Torrey going to try and follow him through around the outside here? Yes, he is. Easily done there from Torrey up into 6th. Pierre Gasly's AI offering absolutely no resistance there to those two. Andrew Pittsmith up into 5th and Torrey into 6th, and Mark Bowe's not too far off these guys either. They're in 8th place, looking to try and close up to them as soon as he can. Viper in the background there, bringing himself into this fight as well. Bit of a gap back to Soph running in 10th, with Paul Codd in at P11 and last place at this point. Mark Bowe's got ahead of Pierre Gasly's AI up into 7th, as well as Torrey's got ahead of Andrew Pittsmith there down the parts to not finish straight. He's up into 5th place there, beautifully done there from Torrey. Gets himself up in position there. Andrew obviously on the hard tyres, Torrey on the soft. So you'd expect Torrey to have a pace advantage, and he's made that look relatively routine there. M. Harry is dropping way off the back of Bennett at the moment. He's now over 5 seconds behind Bennett LCSC, so it's not gone to plan at all for M. Harry over the course of the last couple of laps. Bennett's got the gap down to Horatio down to 2.2 seconds, so Bennett LCSC continuing to claw that gap down, continuing to bring himself into the contention for this race win. Andrew within just about a second of Torrey, still hasn't let him off the hook, and Mark Bowe's now very close onto the back of Andrew Pittsmith though, as Viper is now eyeing up a move on Pierre Gasly's AI for 8th place, but the cameraman's not adjusted there. Yes, there he is. Now he's got the battle here between these two, as now Viper tries to get it out of the crash again. Oh my goodness me, he gets a big slide there, and that will have compromised his attempts to get ahead of Pierre Gasly's AI just a little bit. Mark Bowe there running within 0.2 of a second of Andrew Pittsmith. Derby Bay's got ahead of M. Harry, and M. Harry's in the pits, that's why. So Derby Bay is promoted up into 3rd place. M. Harry's put a set of the hard tyres on, so he's going to try and go to the end of the race from here. Can he make those hard tyres last 20 laps and get himself to the checkered flag? Only he's going to know the answer to that. Is it going to be possible for him? The pit window says that the medium tyres last, or you can do a 2-stop strategy with the medium tyres, does it say? Well, I don't know. I would have thought you could probably just about maybe get the medium tyres to go 17, 18 laps here, maybe 20 if you're very kind to them. I don't know though. I mean, I don't really drive, to be fair. I only commentate, so I'm not 100% on what's what on this F1 game, if I'm perfectly honest with you. All I can go on is experience from commentating on these races. But right now, Mark Bowe running in 6th place. He's got ahead of Andrew Pittsmith. He can now try and chase down Torrey up in 5th place. Andrew obviously running the hard tyres, can go to the end on these tyres, so he's in a good position here in this race. He's not going to stress too much about these guys being ahead of him, because he knows that they've got to come into the pits at some point before the end of this race, whereas he does not. As I'm just noticing there on the timing screen that Bennett LCFC has got the gap down to Horatio. It's now under 2 seconds between these two, so Bennett LCFC on a mission here in this race. He's been clawing that gap down. He's been bringing the fight to Horatio. These two obviously teammates last season. Bennett was very much the dominant driver in this XLF1 league last season, but so far this season Horatio's looked to be very much his match in these early stages here in Australia. Bennett LCSC kind of ran away with the championship, wrapped it up with a few rounds to spare, but Horatio is going to be on it like a car bonnet to try and make sure that doesn't happen again this season. Harry was up there with the start, but he's had him on the moment there. Oh no, Harry's lost it. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness me, as we just see there, Mark both swerving out of the way and just avoiding him, and Andrew Pittsmith gets through up into 6th. Harry there having an absolutely colossal moment, and he's dropped down to 7th place here in this race as he gets a little bit wide there out of the first corner. That is going to compromise him enormously. He was in contention for a podium in this early stage of this race, but it's all gone Pete Tong for this man driving in the Haas. It looks like that's going to be his chance of getting in the top 5 pretty much done and out of the window there. For that, guys, but that's unfortunate for Harry. Obviously he's now falling back into the clutches of Viper, who's running in 8th place, only 2 seconds behind him at this point. As we can see now, Sophie's within 3 seconds of Pierre Gasly's AI. Paul Codd a long way behind in 11th place, a lap down on the leaders. Horatio leads this race, but only 1.3 seconds is his gap to Bennett at the moment. Bennett LCFC's really brought the gap down over the course of these last couple of laps, and is now very much on the tail of the Ferrari. Looks like the reigning champion once again. Quickest man out on track, looking like the man to beat so far, as he's really getting massive gains on the Ferrari. But oh, Mark Bo's out of the race. Mark Bo's DNF'd. Oh, what a shame there for Mark Bo, as he was in the thick of it. He was battling it out there with Torrey and Andrew Pittsmith, but Mark Bo's out, and another safety car has been deployed here in Australia. What a dramatic opening round of the season it has been here for the XLF1 League. Another safety car, as we see Torrey and Andrew Pittsmith both coming into the pits at the end of lap 11. So those two are going to get some tyres changed, going to put a fresh set of new shoes on. And Horatio and Bennett had already been past the start finish by the time the safety car was deployed, so they're already halfway around the lap, it would seem. But Horatio's lead is obviously going to be carved down to nothing. It was almost on the verge of nothing anyway. It was just over a second was separating Horatio and Bennett at the time that the safety car was deployed. Andrew Pittsmith, Viper, Harry, Pierre Gasly's AI and Soph all in the pits at the moment. Paul Codd, it looks like he's stayed out for the time being, as he's on the back of the Alpine of Torrey, who's obviously a lap ahead of him. But right now it's the race leader of Horatio's pulled the trigger. He's coming in. Bennett LCFC doing the same, so pretty much the whole pack are going to try and come in, and I imagine put the mediums on from here. That would be the logical choice to go for, except Bennett can't do that, can he? Bennett LCFC can't put the mediums on because he started on the mediums, so Bennett LCFC's had to put the soft tyres on. Now that could be a big decider in this race. Obviously we've got 17 laps left to go. By the time this safety car's done, we're going to have, what, 14, 15 laps left? I can't see Bennett making a set of soft tyres last him 14 laps. I really can't see it happening. I think he's going to have to come in again. He's going to have to do 2 short soft stints to the end of the race. In my opinion, that's going to be the only way it's going to work for him. Horatio on the mediums could be in for a win here, I think. He's definitely got a strategic wild card unless we see another safety car before the end of the race. But it's Horatio leading ahead of Bennett LCFC, Derby Bay in 3rd. Torrey is running in 4th place with Andrew Pittsmith 5th, Viper 6th, Harry in 7th, Pierre Gasly's AI in 8th place at the moment, with Soph and Paul Codd in 9th and 10th places in this one. Stay tuned though, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be an absolutely fantastic second half to this race, with Horatio and Bennett battling over the lead, and this one kind of brings Harry into play a little bit. Obviously he had the pace in the early stages, but a bit of inconsistency has really been his undoing. This is kind of just giving him a little bit of lifeline here, so we could be seeing Harry in contention for this win. Keep an eye on him as this one unfolds, but it's going to be a great race here for the opening round of the XLF1 League. Drop a like on the video, guys. Join the XLF1 League in the description, and we will see you in a very short moment.
Like a Hellcat. Like a Hellcat.
Here we are then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We're moments away from the restart here for what's going to be the final 14 laps of the XLF1 League round 1 of the season here at Australia. Absolutely excited to see how this one goes, as it's going to be an interesting battle between Horatio and Bennett. These two have been running pretty close throughout the entirety of this race so far, but it's going to come down to what's going to happen with the tyres in terms of Bennett, because Bennett has got some soft tyres on which are not going to go the distance, and if they do, he's not going to be able to go full power, that is for sure. So it's going to be a very interesting strategic race as to what happens between Horatio and Bennett. Derby Bay running just behind them in third place, Torrey in fourth, Andrew Pittsfield in fifth, Viper sixth. Harry had pace in the beginning, had a very strong pace actually, so it'll be interesting to see how he gets on now that we have the safety car. Now he's been able to close up onto these guys a bit. Soph running in 8th, Pierre Gasly's retired from the race, so he's done. Paul Codd is running at the back as we see Bennett looking to the inside of Horatio into turn 1 on this restart, already trying to get onto the back of him if he can. Derby Bay running in third place there, Torrey, Andrew Pittman, Viper there with Harry, Soph and Paul Codd at the back of the field, but these two dicing it out here in towards turn 3 already. Bennett all over the back of Horatio, looking to find a way through in the early stages of this restart. He's absolutely on it here at the beginning of this restart. Bennett LCSC not hanging around for a second as he's looking to try and take the opening round of this season. He knows he needs to get ahead of Horatio and pull out a gap to him pretty quickly here if he wants to win this race. He knows he's got it all to do. Has he got what it takes here in this one? That's the big question. He's throwing a little feint to the inside in towards the chicane as we see Horatio tagging the grass a little bit on the entry to the corner, but keeping it together for the time being. Bennett's now going to get a run here all the way down this long straight which leads towards sort of like a left-right sort of chicane bit. And Bennett once again a little bit too far back to make the move as he tucks in behind and backs out of that move, thinks better of that one. He's going to get a good exit here coming out of this part of the track. We've got another little straight here which leads to a tight right-hander, and once again Bennett LCFC has a little look but can't get it done. And Andrew Pittsmith out of the race. Andrew Pittsmith has retired, and it looks like Harry's out of the race as well. 2 retirements in the space of basically 10 seconds there. I don't know whether or not that's going to be a safety car. It looks like the stewards, looks like the marshals are going to try and get that done under double waved yellow flags. No, we have got another safety car, and this plays into the hands of Bennett LCFC, because now Bennett LCFC, well, now he only has to do what, 9 or 10 laps of racing on these soft tyres. This could potentially be soft tyre territory here for Bennett LCFC. Maybe now he doesn't have to pit, or it gives him a free pit stop. It's up to him here. He can choose where he wants to play this one. He can roll the dice and try and stay out and try and do what, 10 racing laps on the soft tyres, or alternatively he can just come into the pits and come out in what, P7, try and come back through the pack and try and beat Horatio on pace. Will be fascinating to see how this one plays out, but Horatio leads ahead of Bennett LCFC. Derby Bay in 3rd in this race, Torrey in 4th. After those 2 crashed out, M. Harry and Andrew Pittsmith. Viper in 5th, Soph up to P6. What a great start to her season. It'll be 8 championship points for a P6 there for Soph. Paul Codd struggling tonight down in P7. Oh my goodness me, we almost lost another car there. That was inches away from being down to 6 cars out on the track. Paul Codd did so well there to keep onto that. Hats off to you, mate, there for keeping onto that one. But Horatio leads ahead of Bennett LCFC. That's once again another safety car here in Melbourne for the first round of the XL1 League. Melbourne never disappoints, does it? Australia is always one of the more exciting tracks on the calendar. Back to hosting the season opener after Bahrain hosted the XL F1 League first round last season. Always nice to kick off a season in Australia. It's tradition, really, isn't it? We got used to this. It's always nice to see Albert Park being the curtain raiser. But right now, Horatio, Bennett, Derby Bay, your top 3, Torrey, Viper, Soph and Paul Codd completing the rest of the classification, as these guys very narrowly missed out on joining the safety car queue last lap. The safety car was just coming out of the pits as they came into turn 1, so this time around the safety car picks them up, and that is now us under safety car well and truly. So it looks like the pack's already closed up onto the train, which means that we should be able to go at the end of this lap. So that means that Bennett LCFC is going to do a total of 12 racing laps on the soft tyres. 12 racing laps on the soft tyres. It's doable. It's not quite the 15 laps that he would have had to do before. I wonder whether he's just going to go full out, just put his foot to the floor, try and get the move done on Horatio early, try and pull out enough of a gap to then put the another fresh set of soft tyres on, at which point he's probably going to have about a second and a half of a lap advantage in the closing stages of the race, I would imagine. So I don't know if he can maybe get ahead and pull out a 10-second gap in, say, 6 or 7 laps. Who knows? Maybe Bennett might be able to pull off the race win here, but it's going to be very, very close. Horatio's definitely going to push him all the way, and Horatio, obviously with track position, has got the ascendancy here in this race, as race control is just letting us know there that the safety car is going to come in this lap. So they're going to come in. We will be racing once again. A very brief safety car, that one, only a couple of laps, so that's what we want to see. We don't want to see the safety car staying out for too long. We don't want to see it overstaying its welcome. But these guys now backing off a bit as the safety car peels away. Safety car is now going to go its absolute maximum pace. It's going to go full out race pace here through these final few corners to try and get away and get enough of a gap between it and the pack so that it doesn't end up getting swamped by a load of, well, I say a load of 7 Formula 1 cars. Not quite the pack that we saw at the start. 14 drivers started this race. We're down to 7. Obviously, Pierre Gasly's AI was among them, but we're coming in towards the final corner now. Horatio, when he puts his foot to the floor, will be getting this race underway. Harry's left the session, so unfortunate for the man who looked like he was in contention for a podium at the start of this race. Bennett looks like he's really Johnny on the spot here at the start of this restart. Looking to the inside already into turn 1. Horatio's just about got that line on the outside and holds on to the lead for the time being, but Bennett LCFC already an electric start there from him, as we see Derby Bay Tori, there's Viper and Soph and Paul Cott at the back of this pack, but Horatio looking to try and defend here from Bennett. Bennett all over him, coming in towards turn 3. Tori goes a little bit wide there, can't get a move done on Derby Bay as Viper's putting up onto the back of Tori now. Soph and Paul Cott, but Horatio and Bennett separated by 0.3 of a second on this restart. Bennett LCFC once again really hassling the back of Horatio, but Horatio was alert and alive to everything that Bennett LCFC was doing on that restart and has stood up to this pressure. Horatio, what a drive from this man, clearly likes Australia a bit and maybe is coming to this season with a bit of a resolution that he's going to try and stop Bennett from running away with it as easily as he did last season. He's going to be on it from the word go here as we see Bennett having a look to the outside here, coming in towards the turn 9 chicane. Can he get it all around the outside here? Horatio's going to try and park his car on the inside there. Oh, Horatio chops him off and Bennett LCFC spins out on the exit of the chicane there. He's going to drop way down the order here. He's going to drop down to P6 and last place here as Paul Codd is out of the race. We've got another safety car. Another safety car. P6 Bennett LCFC drops down to, but we've got another safety car here with 10 laps left to go. Surely Bennett LCFC is going to come into the pits now. Is Horatio going to do the same thing? Is Horatio going to come into the pits? No, he stays out. Derby Bay also stays out. Tori looks like he's staying out for the time being. No, Derby Bay did come in. He peeled in right at the last minute there. He looked like he was staying out, came in. Derby Bay and Viper staying out. Soph's coming into the pits, nothing to lose. And Bennett LCFC, after that horrible moment there, almost misses the pit lane as he might have a bit of damage there. Just about comes in. But that safety car there has given Bennett LCFC a real lifeline here. The man who took so many wins last season seemed to get the rub of the green at every opportunity. Bit like Hamilton or Vettel back in his heyday. It's just everything seemed to go right for him last season. And once again, he seems to be getting the luck here as he gets caught up in a little collision there with Horatio. It looked like it was a bit of a racing incident. If anything, I'd say maybe Horatio was at fault for not giving Bennett the room. Again, I don't want to be playing the blame game. Obviously, it's not fun, but I'd say it was a maybe majority on Horatio, but I would say that it's probably bordering on a racing incident. But Bennett has obviously kind of got lucky there because the safety car means that he only has 5 cars between himself and Horatio, so he's kind of very much still in that battle right now. But Horatio leading here under the safety car with 9 laps left to go here at Albert Park. Tori in second, Viper third, Derby Bay in 4th place with Soph 5th, and Bennett LCFC rounding out your 6 drivers left out on track right now. So I think we're probably going to we'll be going to the end of lap 21 because they have to do a minimum 2 laps under the safety car. They can't only do 1 lap, so we will be regardless waiting for Bennett to pull up onto the pack. But I think after that it will be 1 more lap under the safety car, ladies and gentlemen, so stay tuned, don't go anywhere. It's going to be a very frantic last few laps here at Australia for the first round of the XLF1 League. Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to go racing here for the final restart here for round 1 of the XLF1 League. It looks as though Horatio's got a good start here, immediately getting his foot to the floor out of that last corner, and has put a bit of a gap here between himself and Torrey coming up towards the first corner. There we go. It looks like he's already got about a 6-7 tenths per second gap between those two, as Vipers there running in third place. We've got Derby Base, Soph and Bennett LCFC already trying to line up a move here on Soph around the outside up towards turn 3. Can Bennett make it all the way around the long way here on those fresh soft tyres that he's got? He's going to be looking to try and make quick progress here through the field as he's looking to the inside, but Soph covering the line off there at the moment, and Bennett LCFC not able to make immediate progress up into 5th place at the start. Horatio leads by 1.4 seconds ahead of Torrey. There's Viper in third, Derby Base, Soph and Bennett LCFC still looking all over the back of Soph, but still can't get it done here as he's now going to try and get the run up all the way up to the chicane. A little bit of a straight here for him to get this done. Here we go, around the outside of the chicane as Soph get holding the inside line. A little bit of contact there between the two of them as they bump as they bump wheels, as we see there Soph running a bit wide, and now Bennett's going to get the move done. Oh, Soph's spinning out, and Soph's crashed out of the race. Don't say we're going to have another safety car, please, for God's sake, as we've got double waved yellows in the middle sector here, but I think we're going to get away without getting another safety car here. So Bennett LCFC up a position after that little bit of contact there between himself and Soph, as now we have 5 seconds covering the entire pack here for the last 7 laps of this race. Horatio has the lead. He's already put a 1.4 second gap between himself and Torrey. Torrey in contention for a win, could be on for a podium here in his debut here in the Tier 1s for the OG League here on a Wednesday and Sunday at XLF1. We've got Viper there running in the final podium spot in the background there as he's keeping tabs with Torrey at the moment. Bennett is already within 1.4 of Viper since getting ahead of Derby Bay there. Derby Bay into the pits at the end of lap 22. I don't know why he didn't do that, to be honest, when we were on the safety car, but he's out of the pits now anyway. Maybe it was a drive-through there for him, actually. Could be a drive-through potentially because he didn't change tyres. But Horatio leads by 1.6. Bennett's got ahead of Viper up into third place and can now try and chase down the two leaders. Horatio's already got almost 4 seconds between himself and Bennett, so Horatio's really made the most of some clean air out the front to bring out that gap, and now Bennett has got 4 seconds to make up in 6 laps here. Is it going to be doable for Bennett LCFC? Can he get the hammer down and bring himself into contention for this win? That is the big question here, which we're going to find out over the next few laps. As he's already now within a second almost of Torrey WMM. Torrey in his debut here tonight in the XLF1 League has done absolutely brilliantly. Derby Bay running in P5 is going to pick up some great points on his debut as well, but Torrey absolutely killing it, and looks like he could still be on course for a podium even if Bennett gets him here, as Bennett's now within 0.6 of a second coming in towards the final few corners. You can see the race leader there, Horatio, just in the foreground coming through the shot there. So Bennett is closing in on Horatio despite being behind Torrey, despite having someone right in front of him affecting his downforce and obviously being in that dirty air. He's still making gains on the race leader coming down the start finish straight. Bennett sets the fast step of the race. Can he get it done into turn 1? He's not quite close enough to get the move done on Torrey just at the moment, but both of these guys very much closing in on Horatio at this point. Is now Bennett sticking to the outside coming up towards turn 3. Is he going to be able to get this one done all the way around? It looks like he is going to break later there. The Mercedes has gone all the way around the outside of the Alpine there up into second place. 1.6 separating Horatio and Bennett LCFC. Bennett's now on hammer time. He's got to go for it, but he's very much going to be the favourite at this stage in the race, surely, with the pace that he's got over Horatio at this point. Horatio's led these last few laps, has been consistent out the front. He will definitely be fearing the worst here. It will definitely feel like this one's got away from him if he doesn't win this one, because Bennett has been kind of like playing catch up for the entirety of this race. Bennett got very, very lucky with the safety car towards the end of this one, I've got to say, but he's now almost within a second of Horatio since the restart. We're 2 laps into this final safety car restart, and Bennett LCFC has gone from 6th place up into 2nd, and he's now within 0.7. He's got DRS on Horatio. Horatio now is going to be squeaky bum time here for the Ferrari driver in his first race in the Ferrari team, looking to try and take a win in his first Grand Prix at XLF1 in the Ferrari. But Bennett LCFC in the Mercedes, the reigning champion, is going to try and throw it up the inside into the corner, but can't get it done there. Horatio just about holds it around the outside in towards the final corner, and out onto the start finish straight they come. Bennett's now going to have DRS coming down the start finish straight. Is he going to be able to get this one done? He's going to put out to the inside line. He's going to try and get this done on the brakes here. Bennett sets the fast step of the race. He was 0.3 quicker than his personal best there as he comes into turn 1. Bennett LCFC are out down the inside as Horatio tries to hold it around the outside, but Bennett LCFC is not going to be denied. He takes the lead of the Australian Grand Prix here at XLF1. Bennett hunted him down and absolutely threw the kitchen sink there at Horatio as he came through the pack from 6th place after the restart. Bennett LCFC, the reigning champion of the XLF1 OG League, now leads here, and it looks like he's going to have this one on definitely within his grasp. I can't see him losing it at this point. Bennett LCFC has done absolute bits here tonight. It's not been easy for him. He hasn't had everything go his own way. He got a little bit lucky with the safety car when he had that collision with Horatio. Incidentally, at the same time that he had that collision with him, it ended up being a safety car due to Paul Card crashing out of the race, but that kind of threw him a lifeline. He was able to start the restart in 6th place, and from there he just made up the places on the fresh soft tyres, overtook everyone in front of him, and managed to make the move on Horatio up into the lead of the race. Bennett leads and has already pulled out a 1.7 second gap since making that move earlier this lap. Bennett on those fresh softs has got so much pace in that Mercedes, and is now going to see this one out with just 4 laps remaining at Albert Park. It's going to be another win for Bennett LCFC. A new season, a new era, a new dawn here for the XLF1 League, but no changes at the top of the board in the tier 1s here for the OGs, as we got Bennett LCFC once again showing the way in the closing stages of an XLF1 League race. Horatio did 13 laps on those medium tyres, really pushed them to the limits, absolutely did everything that he could to take the win here tonight, but it just wasn't to be for him. But well done to him for the effort that he put in. He really did throw everything at it. But at the moment, Bennett LCFC has got 3.5 seconds back to Horatio, and Torri's closing in on Horatio as well now. Look at this, only 6/10 between them. Torri on 14 lap old hard tyres, still flying there in that Alpine. Those hard tyres haven't even scratched the surface yet. Those hards could easily go for 20, 25 laps. 14 laps is nothing for those white wall tyres. He's now pretty close to Horatio, whose mediums may be starting to grain a little bit now. Obviously with the mediums, they start to go off after about 10 laps. They generally hit the cliff between about 15 and 18 laps into their stint, so it's now going to be a case of, can Torri use that durability in those hard tyres and try and get this move done and try and go up to 2nd place if he can. These two 10 seconds ahead of Viper running in 4th place, who in turn is 13 seconds clear of Derby Bay running in 5th. Derby Bay on course for some great points here in this one, as is Viper. Torri on the podium at the moment and looking to try and get himself into 2nd place in his tier 1 debut here for the XL OGF1 League. These two now are already 5 seconds behind Bennett, who's about to start his 27th lap. 3 laps left to go here in Australia, but Horatio still keeping Torri at bay, just about coming down the start-finish straight. These two separated by 0.4 of a second, coming up towards turn 1. Onto the brakes they come. Horatio at the moment keeping Torri at bay, just about here, 0.3 between these two, coming out of turn 2 up towards turn 3. Torri looking like he's pretty close. He'll have DRS coming down this part of the track, looking to the outside. Horatio's going to send him around the long way here as he now squeezes around the gap around the outside, but Horatio did a brilliant job there of covering that off. Torri with nowhere to go and had to just think better of that one there, as Horatio was kind of just giving him like a bit of an ultimatum there. It's like, yeah, you can go on the outside, but you can also have a bit of grass and probably end up in the wall. And in the end, Torri decided to live to fight again here in this race, as these two now falling ever further behind the race leader Bennett LCFC, who's got almost a 7-second gap out the front. Torri still hassling the back of Horatio in any way that he can, trying to find a way up into 2nd place, but Horatio putting on an absolute brilliant defence here and just not allowing any cracks to form. He's driven superbly over the course of tonight as Horatio. Got unlucky really with the safety cars coming out when they did. If it hadn't been for that, he might have been the man on the top step here for this first round of the season. Bennett LCFC picking up where he left off here in the XLF1 League, as now we see Torri going around the outside here of Horatio. Can he get this done? Can he complete the move? No, Horatio got a better exit due to Torri got a little bit wide onto the grass, but he's going to try and get him back here coming in towards the final few corners. Torri crucially was passed before the DRS detection point here, so Horatio will have to defend from Torri, as Torri will have that rear wing wide open coming down the start finish straight. I think he's a little bit too far behind to be able to get the move here with the DRS open, but he's going to still go for it down the inside, and in fact no, he does get the car stopped in time, but Horatio just holding it around the outside and keeps onto that 2nd place by the skin of his teeth there. Great driving from Horatio as they went side by side, barely anything between the two cars, as Torri's now looking around the outside here into turn 3. Horatio parking it on the inside, but Torri manages to get the move done brilliantly there, braked a little bit later than Horatio and pulls off the move up into 2nd place. Torri now has got himself to 18 championship points on his debut here in the XLF1 League. What a drive from this man in the Alpine. Horatio was powerless to do anything about that on those worn out medium tyres, and Torri on the hards up into 2nd place with a lap and a half left to go here in Australia for round 1 of the season. Bennett still leads and has got a lap and a bit left to go here, and he will be the winner of the first race of the season. He will lead the championship after the opening round. This man obviously won the championship last season, and he'll be looking to try and retain his title this season. I thought to myself he'd have a bit of a stiff competition so this season, with drivers like obviously Horatio with a burning desire to take the championship and take the fight to Bennett, and also you got drivers like Andrew Pittsmith will be in the same boat as Horatio this season. You got A. Thompson, who's an extremely quick driver. We've seen him on a Friday night at Motive. He's been exceptional in the McLaren at Motive, and obviously driving this season in I believe the Aston. I could be wrong there, actually. I could be completely wrong, but he's driving here at XL for the OG Wednesday and Sunday League, and he's been really strong in qualifying. He's shown great pace, but I didn't get a lap in the actual qualifying session for this first race of the season, but we've seen his pace. It's very strong, and unfortunately for him, wasn't able to really show his potential here in the first round of the season. Bennett LCFC has had this one relatively handed to on a plate here due to Horatio's obviously getting a bit unlucky with the strategy. Had the race lead and couldn't really pit when he had the lead, because to throw away track position with 6 laps left to go is a bit of a risk, and if you do it and then it goes wrong, then you'll look silly. So Horatio just wanted to hold on to that track position that he had. He had the lead on the restart and wanted to keep that, didn't pit, didn't put some softs on to go for the extra pace in the final few laps, and unfortunately for him, the safe bet for him did not pay off, and it ended up with him losing the lead and losing second place. But Bennett LCFC in towards the final sector at Albert Park for the opening round of the XL Formula 1 League here. The OGs on a Wednesday and Sunday. Bennett LCFC, the reigning champion, is going to pick up where he left off, driving in the Mercedes this season. He was in the Red Bull last season. He's now in the Champions car. Well, having said that, the Champions car could be changing here in F1 pretty soon to a Red Bull, but Bennett LCFC is going to come over the line to take the checkered flag here in Melbourne. It's going to be the race victory for Bennett. What a brilliant drive from this man. Overhauled Horatio in the final stint, managed to get the lead and pulled out over a 12-second gap here out the front. So really good job from Bennett, the reigning champion, showing why he is the reigning champion. Torrey takes second place on his debut here in Tier 1. Great job from Torrey. Horatio comes over, limps over to take a third place on the podium. I think he must have had damage in the final few laps there. I can't imagine how he dropped off the pace so much. Viper comes over the line to take a 4th place. 12 championship points here for the founder of the XLF1 League. Derby Bay is going to come around the final couple of corners now, and it's going to be a 5th place finish for Derby Bay in his Tier 1 debut. Great driving from Derby here tonight, as he now comes over the line and bins it over the line and actually crashes out of the race as he comes over the line. I think he'll still be classified. I believe he'll still get 10 championship points, but yeah, that is that anyway, ladies and gentlemen, for the first round of the XLF1 League. Bennett LCFC taking the win, taking the plaudits. I believe he took fastest lap as well, and will get the extra 26 championship points to kick off his season. Torrey coming through to take second place there ahead of Horatio. Horatio completing the podium. Thank you everybody for joining us here on the Motive Racing YouTube channel. Be sure to join the XLF1 League. Join the Discord server in the description down below if you want to get involved in Motive Racing. Also check that out. XL run leagues on F1 throughout the week. They run pretty much every day, I think it is, or they've got connections who run every day. You can always find some decent F1 action throughout the week if you go to the XL Discord server. There's plenty to get involved with. Also, if you want to get involved in Motive Racing, we run sim racing leagues on Assetto Corsa Competizione and Project Cars 2, as well as F1 on a Friday. So join both XL Racing League and Motive Racing, as it's all free and all very enjoyable. We're going to get off, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you ever so much for joining us on the YouTube stream. Drop a like on the video if you did enjoy. Subscribe to the channel, and we will see you in the next one. Have a great evening.